Whoa, okay. Don't worry. I'm done talking. No more talking. Maybe just a little. Okay, so let's get this intro out the way. We are back to activities. And first things first, we're gonna practice shading. Now, shading could be everything. It's what brings a drawing and paintings to life. At the end of the day, whether you're drawing or painting, it's on a flat surface. Whether it's a piece of paper, wood panel, a canvas, it's something flat. How does it look 3D? It's a manipulation creating an illusion of darks and lights. Your eyes push and pull. To learn that, this series, because it is going to be a series, we're going to divide it up into different parts. This video is going to be the fundamentals. We're going to practice shading/sketching techniques. I'm going to show you all my two favorite, the two that I do, because it's a bunch of different techniques, and I'll provide a video in the description for another lesson that I saw another artist do that teaches like a bunch of the different techniques, and it's like a quick little nice watch, so I think you'll enjoy it. But I'm trying to hold you all to shorter videos. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first thing you want to do, get you a piece of paper or a sketchbook. And what I did was I divided it into, 5 sections. It gives you a good grasp of like the gradient that we're going for from light to dark. And I did too because, like I said, I'm going to be showing you 2 different styles that I do to shade. And so up top, we're going to get right to it. The first thing I want to do is crosshatch. And if you watch my Styles Challenge videos, then you've seen me and my love for crosshatching. It's crosshatch, and we're going to start, as you can see, we're starting in the middle. You don't want to start with light. I'm going to leave that spot just completely white so you can see the brightest, so you can have reference. This is going to be the darkest, and you don't want to get too dark too quick. I know it's tempting like to get that one done. However, you might do it, and as you do the rest, you might realize that it's not as dark. So to save time, I always just go for like a middle tone, because the middle tone can be like whatever it needs to be. So right now I'm using the HB pencil, which is the same as a number 2 pencil. And I'm just making diagonal lines. And I'm using it very lightly. Because even though this isn't going to be the lightest, as you can see, depending on your lead weight, and this is the most common one, it still produces like a nice little gray. Don't worry about like being super neat, staying inside the lines, because it's going to bleed into each other. That's fine. So once you have enough to fill up the square going like one pattern, you can either go like horizontal, vertical, diagonal. I always like diagonal the best. You're gonna go the opposite pattern. That's how you cross the hatch. Now the reason I found this helpful, I learned this when I was in college, because you can still see through here. Some people have like a style that's actually a better style, but like just able to get one line and keep going. I'm more of chicken scratch method, like I just scribble. This will help you save time with scribbling, because a lot of times when you scribble, you just like get all up in there, and that really just wastes time and effort. And you can make clear like decided strokes with these straight lines. You don't have to worry about like trying to shade it in. It does it for you. The more lines you have on the paper or in this section, the darker it appears. As you can see, once we crossed it, it made it darker. So that's going to be our middle. Let's go a direction darker. So this one, you can see I'm feeling completely free to press hard on the paper. And already just going in one direction, it's about the same or darker than our middle. Like I said, don't worry if it bleeds into the next one, especially if you're going in a dark direction. You might want careful if we're moving that one. Boom, already darker. That's not even the darkest one. And all it took is one, you can add more lines, and it's the pressure that you hold the pencil with. That I can't stress enough how much that matters and how much you really have to learn how to draw lightly. And speaking of, we're gonna practice that in this section. So with this, I'm gonna be light as I possibly can. Like, pencil is barely touching the paper. You should just be able to hear it. You shouldn't even really be able to feel it in your hand. Just see it and hear it. Loosely hold it, because if you feel the traction of the lead on the paper, you're already probably pressing too hard. Now, don't end up adding too many lines, because that's automatically going to make it darker no matter how light you do it. That's enough. Now let's cross it. And the lighter ones, the lines are a bit more sprayed out. As you get darker, they get a bit more tight. It's all about creating an illusion. That's good enough right there. You see, have the white, the light gray, middle gray, the dark gray. And now, when things get dark, when you're going for as dark as you can, now is a bit more of the scribbling method, because the lines have to be like close knit anyway. I still recommend, see how much quicker this is. As soon as I started fixing it, going straight lines, I still have the tendency to scribble like many others, but it's not as effective as you think. That's like just broad lines. Boom. You have yourself a gradient right there through crosshatching. Okay, so for our second gradient, we're gonna do something a bit different. Since I'm not working at a table and it's very weird to try to get all up in here, I just flip my paper upside down. You don't have to do that at all. It's just something I'm doing because I'm sitting on the ground. So what we're gonna do in this next style that I do, like I said, if you want to do other styles, I have a video that should be in the description that teaches you other styles. These are the two I use, cross hatching and what's described as the traditional method, which I know a lot of you like to do, whether you know it or not. And that's just really shading and blending. I recommend, if you have different lead weights, for the sake of the tutorial, I'm working with my 2B, a little heavier, a little darker, and I have my blender with me. If you don't own a blender, that's perfectly fine. Paper towel would do, and if I would recommend against it, but it will work, your fingertips. The reason I don't recommend shading with your fingers have oil on them. They'll leave oil on the paper, it'll ruin your drawing. But it is effective if you absolutely have to do it. So let's get started. I'm gonna pretty much just copy the gradient here, but through a different method. So I'm gonna leave that white, hold my, almost said brush. Hold your pencil like a paintbrush, and you just lightly pretty much scribble. And as you get to the other side of the paper, you apply more pressure. Now this one is a bit more wild. Don't be afraid to, blend it in there, because we're gonna blend it all at the end. It should look like one relatively solid gradient. And like I said, it's just a matter of applying more pressure as you go along. Alright, now as you can see that's pretty decent of a gradient. So now we're gonna blend it so it won't look as one scribble, it'll look a lot smoother. And to blend it, no matter what you're using, I recommend using a crosshatch method and starting in a light area, because your blender, your paper is gonna pick up, the graphite, and it's gonna ruin your lighting areas. So whatever way you were scribbling, go the opposite way when you blend. As you can see, it at least looks a bit more smoother. I was rushing through this because I don't want to leave you all with another long video. But if you blend it, then you see how it at least makes it like a bit more smooth, less like you were scribbling. Especially if you're working with things like pencil, charcoal pencil, and color pencil. Basically things with pointed legs, you don't really want to see that. Things with like chalk or oil pastel or paint, that's a different story because that just naturally softens and blends with each other. But this concludes part 1. In part 2, we'll be discussing light sources. See you then.